finish these jeans in just over a week. Spoiler alert, the seam ripper comes out. Watch and see. Good morning and welcome to my sparkly studio. My name's Sam and you're watching my channel So Let's Sparkle with Sam, and today we are doing Mission Possible. So it's Maison Fauve Mission Possible. I have decided to give myself a bit of a, I don't want to say impossible mission, but you know, it's going to be a bit tricksy, and I want to make the Maison Fauve Ronsard jeans. Now, I've done a few things that is going to make it easier for myself. So I have bought a kit. I've bought a kit from the lovely Liz at Flying Bobbins, and I have, so I have all of the fabric, I have the zip, I have the bits that I need for the pockets, I have everything that I need. The only thing that I don't have, and unfortunately doesn't get included in the kit, is time. So yeah, Liz, a little bit of, a little critique. If you could just pop a couple of extra sewing days in the kit, that would be great. No, the kit is great. So it is Mission Possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it all down for you. We're going to do a little bit each day, and I'm going to try and get these Ronsard jeans finished in a week. I'm not going to be sewing all week. I've literally got less than an hour each day and see if I can get them done. Let's see. So I have already watched the first couple of YouTube videos from the Liz that comes in the kit. The kit is fantastic as far as tutorials. I think I did a quick count up. I think it's about 7 hours. Something like loads and loads of information. And obviously you can pick and mix and take from it what you like. But I thought it's there. Liz has taken the time to do it. So I would watch through everything first, which I did. So it was great. I watched and kind of did a tidy of the studio at the same time. So yeah, I gained lots of information and I had a tidy space to start my work in. So double bubble. So Liz goes through all of the kind of measurements, where to measure, how to measure, what to measure, but she also talks you through how to measure from a favourite pair of jeans, and that is what I intend to do, because I have got a pair of jeans that I've had in mind for a long time that I really want to clone, if you like. Well, not quite clone, because they're not perfect, but they're as perfect as I get in ready to wear for jeans. So I've got those, and I've taken all of Liz's lovely advice and I have made notes. Look at me. So I've taken all of the measurements from the jeans, but I've also taken my body measurements as well, just to kind of do a bit of an idiot check to make sure that I'm not making trousers that are going to be way too big or way too small. And it puts me between a 42 and a 40 in the Maison Fauve sizes. And then from listening to Liz and from measuring my jeans, I've decided that I'm going to trace out the straight 40. I'm going to remove 10 centimetres off the length, because I know that for sure. I'm going to grade ever so slightly between the waist and the hips. And everything else I'm going to keep the same, because I think that should be quite good. I am going to possibly, in a future pair, taper off the legs. Or what I might do is I might trace it all off and then just check the leg measurements, because that's the one thing I'm not totally sure on. It's just the width of the leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a straight size 40. I'm going to trace it off. I'm not really much of a tracer generally. If I can get away with cutting the pattern out, then yeah, I'm quite often a bit guilty of just buying the AO pattern and cutting it straight out. But with trousers, this is quite an expensive pattern. I want to keep the pattern. I am a lady, I'm a menopausal lady who fluctuates my weight, so it may be that in 6 months time I need to make another pair in a different size, so I don't want to ruin the pattern. I'm going to trace the 40 and see how we go. Now I have the time that I've got for today is during my lovely social sparkle session. So I've got my social sparkle session starting at 10. It's 2 hours, but I never get 2 hours of sewing time because I host it. So there's lots of chatting. So I've just been threading my overlocker, which is why I've got my magnifiers on. And yeah, I have 2 hours, but I never get 2 hours of sewing. I tend to get about half an hour within chatting and hosting and whatever. So I thought half an hour should be enough time to trace off this pattern. I've got my lovely Swedish tracing paper at the ready. I've got a brand new sharpened pencil, and yeah, and I'm going to trace off the 40. Hello there. So it is day 2 of Mission Possible, and I am carrying on with my Maison Fauve Ronsard jeans. Now, I haven't had a great deal of time today. I have been very, very busy with, all of the other things that I need to do. So all I've had time to do today is cut out my trace. So I traced it all yesterday. I did the adjustments. I watched the lovely Liz and did the adjustments that I know that I need to do from cloning my other jeans. So I have taken each of the legs up. Now this is a pattern where the left leg and the right leg is separate, the front legs, and then the back leg you can't, you cut two. And so I've done the adjustments on all of those 3 pattern pieces by shortening the legs by, I think I did 6 centimetres in the end. I decided that I could just have a deeper hem. I think I probably need to take about 9 or 10 centimetres off, but I'm happy to just have a deeper hem. I don't want them to be too short because I do like them to sit a little bit longer. The other thing that I did think very hard about doing a full flat bottom adjustment, and in the video Liz explains very, very well how to do it. I have done it before. I've done it before in a kind of quick cheaty way, but she goes through it how to do it in a bit more accurate way. But when I looked at it, it wasn't actually, if I was fitting it exactly for my bottom, I would need to do a flat bottom adjustment if I was doing it for my exact measurements. But because I'm doing it to clone the jeans, they actually skim over my bottom quite nicely, and they are very similar in measurement. So all I've done is just cutting down from the back. So if I show you my back panel here, what I've done is taking in the seam allowance. I've just kind of moved it in a little bit here. So I've just taken a little tiny slither off, because then that makes it the same as my other ones. Yeah, so that's really all I've had time to do today. I haven't had time to do anything else. Tomorrow is another really busy day in the studio. I'm teaching most of the day and in the evening as well. But if I get up nice and early, I should have half an hour or so. So what I'm planning on doing, before I pop to my pub quiz, I'm going to quickly iron my fabric and lay it out flat on my cutting table. So when I get up tomorrow morning, I can just hopefully quickly, I mean, I don't want to do it quickly, as in so quickly I don't concentrate, because I do realise that I need to get everything lined up very nicely. For jeans and cutting pattern pieces from denim fabric, it's very important that you pay attention to the grain line, and so because you don't want twisted jeans. So yeah, so I'm gonna see how I go. If I don't get time to do it tomorrow, then I'm not gonna rush it. I have got a bit more time on Thursday. So yeah, so that's really day 2. So it's day 3. I've still got my toaster sweater on because I only wore it for a little while yesterday. So I thought I'd pop it on again. This morning I am in my OG sewing room, so I'm not in my studio today because I have not got as much time as I thought I would. So I thought if I set it up on my cutting table up here to cut out my jeans, it means I can kind of go away and leave it. And then I can go in the studio, do things that I need to do down there, and it's not going to cut. I don't have to keep putting it away and getting it out and putting it away and getting it out. I can just leave it here. So if I've literally got 10, 15 minutes throughout the day, I can just keep popping up and cutting out. Okay, so I have cut out the denim pieces. I've still got the pieces that need to just be cut out, not on the fold, in a separate pile. All of my scraps that I've got left over, I've popped in a neat little pile. These are just scraps that I can use for testing my top stitching, and I've tied it together with the selvage. It's what I normally do. It's also what Liz does as well, and I just find that really useful because then you know where it all is. I have been watching along the next stage while I've been cutting out with Liz, and she says ticket pocket a lot. Ticket pocket, and it's made me smile. So I thought I'd share that with you. So all I've got to do now is, as well as those one layer ones, is to do the lining fabric, and I am not using the beautiful fabric that Liz put in the kit for me. I've decided to do a star lining on my jeans, well, because it's me, so I thought that would be nice. So I've popped my cutting mat underneath, and I'm just gonna cut that out, and then I'm gonna go and get some breakfast because it's suddenly got to 9:30 and I am starving, Marvin. So I'm going to get this cut out, and then I'm going to go and have some breakfast, and then see how much more time I have today to do some more cutting out. Okay, so we're the next day now. I did get all of the trousers cut out, all of the bits and pieces cut out, and as you can see, I tied them all up using the selvage, made them all nice and neat. So yeah, so now I am doing the basting fit. So today I'm going to baste them all together. So basically what that means is that I'm rough sewing. So I've got a long stitch on my sewing machine. I've not actually made the pockets, but I've just sewn the pieces on the front, and then I'm gonna sew the yokes on the back, and then I'm going to sew up the side seams and pop the waistband on, and then try them on and see if they fit, or how they fit, because I think they will fit, but how they fit is yeah. And you might say, oh, Sam, you might as well just sew them all up. But actually, I've found this technique really helpful, basting them together. Because sometimes, you know, the only tweak that you need to make is kind of perhaps adjusting the seam allowance a little bit, or just adjusting things, and then you get that perfect fit. And it's worth doing it, I think, at this stage. Let's face it, if you baste with a nice bright colour, a really large stitch, it doesn't take that long to unpick it afterwards. And then when you go to sew it, you're sewing it with that vigour and confidence that it's going to fit you, which is, you know, rather than sewing it with the trepidation that it might not fit you. So, might be a bit marmitey. What do? Do you baste fit? Do you just go straight in? I actually quite like this idea of doing it. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'll come back in a little while and show you how I got on. So I've done the basting fit, so I've kind of basted it all roughly together, and what I've done is I've put my Ronsard jeans, my new jeans, on top of my cloned jeans. These are the ones that I'm wanting to replicate, and if I put them on top, they are in fact exactly the right size. So in theory they should fit me in the same way, but it all depends on whether it's got the same amount of stretch and all that kind of thing. I have noticed one thing: when I put the waistband on, this should overhang and mine doesn't, so I am gonna just re-look at that. And also I have realised that I've gone over in a couple of places, so it may be that my seam allowance isn't quite as accurate as it should be. So I'm going to just pop them on anyway and just have a little look, but I might need to do a little bit of fiddling. So this is very difficult to show you with any accuracy, but I'm very, very happy with the fit across the bottom. I've got no hungry bum. I have to say I did take a little bit off the rise, and maybe I took a little tiny bit too much off the rise. I might remove that, but it has sorted out the flat bottomness, and they do sit really nicely around my bottom. And then when we come round to the front, they are open, and they are a tiny bit snug. And I think what I need to do is I just need to nip them in a little bit, and then perhaps recut the waistband. But yeah, not too bad. I think what I might do is just kind of sort out this bit first, sort out this waistband first, and then try them on again. Okay, so I've unpicked all of those pieces now, and I'm just brushing down all of the pieces to get all of the little bits of thread and bits out, and then I'll give them all a press so they're kind of back to where they should be. And of course, because it's a very cotton heavy denim, it has frayed quite a bit, so the pressing will kind of help it stay in shape. I've been thinking a lot about it since I've tried them on, and my son actually said, so I was chatting, and he said, well, when I put my jeans on when they first come out of the wash, they're always tight, and then throughout the day they fit comfortable. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, that is how jeans work. So the fact that they were just a little bit snug, I don't think is too much of a worry. I think I'd rather them be a little bit snug than a little bit loose, because they will just loosen up, hopefully. You know, it's just when you put a lot of work into things, you want them to be perfect. So I am going to do what I said, and I am going to just do a slightly small seam allowance. I mean, it's only a centimetre anyway, so I'll just do 1/2 centimetre, and then if I do 1/2 centimetre on the 3 seams, then that's 1.5 centimetres. So that should give me plenty of kind of extra wiggle room. But because I've done that, I do need to cut the waistband one size bigger, so I do need to cut the waistband again, but I've got plenty of the denim left, so that's not a problem. So I'm going to brush all of these down, I'm going to press them all, I'm going to cut another waistband, interface another waistband, and then I think I'm going to put that all aside to sew tomorrow, because I've got other things that are very pressing today, ironing, other things that need my attention today. Good morning, it is Mother's Day today, so this will be well after Mother's Day when you see this, but if you celebrate, happy Mother's Day. So this is why I'm showered. I'm in the clothes that I was wearing yesterday, because I'm going out with family later and I'm going to get changed later, but I'm going to take this opportunity, because I've got a couple of hours before we need to do anything, that I'm going to do the next steps. So the great thing about having the kit is that I've got everything all ready to go. So every time I've been doing each step, I've just been putting everything back in here. All my notes are in here, pattern pieces are in here, the little QR code thingy is in there, everything is in there that I need, which means every time I need to go back to it, it's really easy. I have my iPad all set up next to me, and we are on part 5 today. So I've done the base fitting. I'm fairly happy. I'm still thinking that this is a wearable toile rather than the kind of absolute chef's kiss finished jeans, but we will see. And so I'm now on to the pockets, which means top stitching. So I've got my overlocker all set up and threaded. I've got my machine set up, and I've got my other machine set up so I've got one machine set up with ordinary thread, and I've got one machine set up with top stitching thread and a top stitching needle, and the other machine with ordinary thread's just got the jeans denim needles 90s. Which just means I can flip from machine to machine rather than having to rethread everything every time I do the next step. So yeah, on to pockets. So I've just had to stop and show you this because it's just so cute. So this is the little ticket pocket that is on the pocket recess, and I have decided to put a little Specky Seamstress rocket label. I did only have a few of these, but quite a few of my lovely subscribers and friends have sent me these mini rocket ones because they didn't think that they would use them and knew that I would. So I've got quite a few of these, and I just love popping them in. Now you might not really see that in the jeans, but I'll know it's there and it'll make me happy. So yeah, I've pinned all my pockets. Now, as you can see, because I base fit and had to unpick, because the denim is a twill, it does fray quite a lot. But I think I might overlock these once I get to that point. But yeah, I'm about to top stitch my ticket pocket. Easy for you to say, hey? Ticket pocket, ticket pocket. How cute is that? And then that's where your hand goes in. Ha ha. Yeah, so the front pockets and the pocket bags are all on. So now I'm going to top stitch the back pockets just while I'm top stitching. I'd rather do it all at the same time, but I think I can hear that brunch is ready. So I may go and have my brunch and then come back and do the back pockets. So I've just had a lovely brunch cooked by the wonderful Mr. Sparkles, which has set me up for the day. And we are going out later to the cinema for Mother's Day. And we're also going out for food later, which I'm very excited about. But I've just spoken to Mr. Sparkles and he says I have about 2 hours before I need to do anything else. So I have 2 hours of uninterrupted sewing time, which is wonderful. So I have my 2 hours have already started. I have finished the back panels, so I've done the top stitching on the back pockets, and I did very carefully, because I realised when I put the back pockets on that actually they angle differently, so I'm pretty sure I've got them on the right side. We will see. And then I've done the back yokes on both of them, so I've got the front panels and the back panels completed, and now it's time for the fly. It's the exciting bit. So I thought, well, you know what, I've got about an hour and a half left of my 2 hours. I reckon I can get all of the fly in an hour and a half if I concentrate. Yeah, I'm not going to go quickly. I always go really slow. I hand stitch everything in first. I'll go nice and slow, but yeah, I think I can get the fly done. Wish me luck. So sorry for the slightly peculiar angle, but yeah, so the zip fly is in and it's all looking nice and straight and lined up. I'm assured that it is supposed to come up the top here. We're going to sort that bit out, but it does line up really beautifully with the bottom, and it's all sitting really nice and straight. So currently my jeans look like I've had an unfortunate accident. I've got them wet to get rid of all of the chalk marks on them, just to kind of see how everything is looking. Now I've done my bar tack here. This one I was quite happy with, and then I did this one and it came out really nicely, but I realised that actually traditionally it should go this way and not that way, and I did think about unpicking it and I thought, no, I'm not going to. Everything's working and they're my own original jeans, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to keep it as it is. Okay, you've caught me. I'm unpicking. I was so thrilled to get the fly finished, and the front was all looking nice, the back was all looking nice, the pockets were on, and I was, you know, steaming through putting the front seams in, and then it said press everything to the left and top stitch. So I pressed everything to the left, turned it around and started top stitching, and realised that I was sewing on the wrong side. Luckily, I didn't get all the way along both panels. I've only gone up half a leg, but it means now I've got to unpick half a leg and then start the other one. Well, start top stitching on the right side. But hey ho, this is what stitching is all about. So on that unpicking note, join me on my next episode of Mission Possible to find out if I get my jeans finished in time for the Stitch Festival. So today is Sunday, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Thursday I'm getting on the train and going to Stitch Festival. I'm teaching all day Monday, I'm teaching all day Tuesday, I have half a day on Wednesday and the evenings in between. So will I get them finished? Who knows? Keep it sparkly. Don't forget to sparkle, my friends, and I'll see you in part 2 for Mission Possible.